everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you didn't see part 1 on the theories of how the writers of The Simpsons accurately predict the future, be sure to check that out. In today's video, I'm going to be discussing how a card game that came out in 1995 predicted the future so much so that it actually caught the attention of our government. The card game can be found on the CIA.gov website. Also, the information and depictions on other card games created by the company called Steve Jackson Games eventually led to the Secret Service raiding their office in 1990. So essentially, Steve Jackson Games knew a little bit too much and the CIA said, "That's us, I'm gonna take your shit." Just look at the logo though. Let's get into the details. In 1995, the card game came out and it was created by a company called Steve Jackson Games. Just to give you an idea, there is a quarantine card, Black Lives Matter card, there is a card illustrating the Canadian strike with the truckers, and an energy shortage card which shows the use of electric vehicles, and a World War III card. There is a gay activist card next to a New World Order political correctness card. The image in that card shows somebody getting hanged for using the wrong pronouns. Keep in mind that in 1995, it was not common for people to come out, and pronouns were not that much of a thing like how they are today. As you can tell, this card game was ahead of its time, and it's wild to think that some of the depictions within this illustration of the card games actually came true. I guess a photo really does tell 1,000 words. The question is, how did the company know all of this? Like, where were they getting their information from? Well, when I was doing my research into it, I couldn't really find much information, and it's probably because this card game caught the eye of not only the CIA, but the Secret Service as well. The card game is not only featured on the CIA.gov website, but it's underneath a category called Bin Laden's bookshelf. I'm not really sure if this was used as some type of proof, but it's just really chilling that these photos within the card game depicted not only 9/11, but the Pentagon attack as well. But what's even more bizarre is Steve Jackson created a Cyberpunk card game in 1990. This specific card game led to the Secret Service to raid their headquarters located in Austin, Texas. This eventually led to a lawsuit called Steve Jackson Games versus the United States Secret Service. The Secret Service seized about 300 floppy disks, the master copy of the Cyberpunk card game, and multiple different manuscripts from sourcebooks. They also damaged a lot of property, not only their office, but also the materials as well. So was this intentional? Was it by accident? We don't know. The Secret Service claimed that the Cyberpunk card game was a handbook for computer crimes since Lloyd Blankenship, who was a famous hacker at the time, was hired to work on the game. The next day after the raid, Steve Jackson visited the Secret Service office with his lawyer because he was promised that he could make copies of the files that they took. However, upon arrival, he was told otherwise and was only allowed to make copies of a few files. He was later told that the rest was going to be shipped back to him, but they never were. To this day, no one knows what the Secret Service did with those files that they took. During this time, Steve Jackson Games was facing tremendous financial difficulty. They actually had to lay off almost half of their employees, and they ended up filing for Chapter 11 bankruptcy. This raid really messed them up financially. I also want you to keep in mind that the internet wasn't in the public domain at this time. The US Secret Service stated that this raid was a part of Operation Sun Devil, which was a national crackdown on all illegal computer activity. This operation took place in 15 different cities and led to 3 arrests. The main purpose of Operation Sun Devil were to take down credit card thieves and telephone abusers. However, as we can tell, Steve Jackson Games was just a gaming company. They didn't really fall into this category. And because of this, they actually won their lawsuit. They won approximately $300,000. It doesn't actually make up for the information that was lost, but at least they did acquire some type of compensation. But it kind of makes me think, what exactly did the Secret Service take that was worth $300,000. As I was doing research into Steve Jackson games and the different games that were published throughout the years, I kept coming across CERN. If you don't already know, CERN is the largest physics research center in the world, and I actually mentioned them in my last video that I did with The Simpsons. So it was kind of weird that a research center kept popping up when I was intentionally looking for games. Now, here's the whole timeline. The lawsuit took place in 1993. The raid occurred on March 1st, 1990. However, the internet was created on January 1st, 1989 by a scientist at CERN. So it's kind of weird how CERN is kind of in the mixture of all this, because just a year after the internet was invented, a raid took place for cyber attacks. Very, very weird how Steve Jackson games kind of got mixed up into all of this and how CERN is connected somehow, and I just wanted to put that out there. Before I end this video, I do want to say have an open eye, be conscious, and take everything with a grain of salt. A lot of people take this card game very seriously, as I was telling you, because they do truly believe that these card games predict the future. I personally think that this was a mere coincidence, and I honestly think that Steve Jackson games might have came across some type of information through the different people that they've hired to create these card games. With that being said, thank you so much for watching. Be sure to subscribe and comment down below. I'll see you guys in the next video.